Hi, good evening, Emmanuel. Good evening, Mr. Olufemi. I think we can just chill till 5:10 and see if anyone joins. Let's wait for people to join. But good evening, I'm mailing everyone. Let's just hang on and wait for people to join. Thank you. So I think either people join or not by 5:10, we are going to kick off. They would they will join us as the class is going on. But let's just chill till 5:10. So we have 3 minutes more to go. All right. Good evening, everyone, once again. Please, if you can hear me, you can unmute and.
Yeah, good evening, ma.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing today?
Yeah, fine.
Awesome. I'm fine, thank you. Fine, thank you. So I think we are going to proceed now, and every other person would join us. Right? I think we are good. Yes, so like I said yesterday, today we'll be looking at financial optimization. We'll be looking at financial management and cost optimization strategies. So like I said yesterday, for those that were in the question and answer session yesterday, or those that listen to the recording, you would hear this when I said at this point in time, the economy is not smiling on poultry farmers, right? And this is the time where we need to do more in managing our finances. This is the time when we need to do more in managing costs. There are several things that we spend money on, just like our protein, right? The protein we give to our birds. Most times we spend so much money on protein where there are ways we can make BSF. I don't know if anyone have heard of BSF before. Black soldier flies. I don't know if I got that correctly, but we spend more on protein when there are alternatives, right? We have alternatives, but we spend more. So today we are looking at how can we cut costs on some things that are necessarily not what we should spend our money on in poultry farming, so that even with the way the economy is now, it will still be friendly to us. I believe everyone can hear me, please. I believe everyone can hear me. Please let me know if you can hear me.
Hello, yes, we can.
All right, awesome, nice. So basically, so this class is being recorded, right? It will be dropped for people that people that are not in class. But I think we'll just go straight into today's class. So I'll be sharing my screen now. And we can proceed. Just give me a moment to share my screen. Please let me know when you can see my screen.
Okay. Yes. How do I? Yes.
Please can you mute your speaker, please? All right. So like I said, today we are looking at financial management and cost optimization strategies. So basically, I think the topic alone already says what we are doing. I believe everyone agrees to that. The topic alone already says what we are doing. That is managing your financials and cutting costs. How can you cut costs? So without wasting much of our time, we'll be looking at what we have in our presentation for today. So what is financial management, right? Financial management in a poultry farm involves effectively and efficiently managing the financial resources of the farm to achieve profitability and long-term sustainability. Now, for either a poultry farm or whatever business we are doing, for that business to last, you need finances. I believe you agree to that, right? For a business to last, you need finance. Now, you have 100,000. How do you manage that to give you what you want and the best of what you want, right? Most of the things we spend money on are not meant, there are a lot of things we spend money on, right? That there are other ways to do it than spend money. Like I said, there are a lot of things we spend our money on that there are other ways to do it than spend money, right? Now, if we look at what financial management is in a poultry farm, it involves effectively. You are being effective in your management and you are being efficient, right? You are intentional about how you manage your finances because you know that there is nowhere you can run to at this moment. So you are first, please note this word, effectively, and this efficiently. So you are so effective about your management, you are so efficient about your management, the resources that you have. Involve effectively and efficiently managing the financial resources of the farm to achieve profitability and long-term sustainability. So one of the ways you manage your finances is you reduced the credit you sell, right? When you sell credit, you are not gaining because you need that money to do another thing that will bring in money for you. Are we together? Please let me know if we are following. Let me know if we are together. You can give me a reaction, raise your hand, or be in the chat, say something in the chat so that we'll know you're following, please. I like to take feedbacks. I like to know if you're following me, please. So you sold credit for someone, but you need that resource, you need that money to finance another thing so that you can get profits in that aspect. So one of the ways you manage your financials, one of the ways you manage your finances is reducing, thank you very much, reducing the rate at which you sell credits. Yeah, right, that's that. So now, it encompasses various practices, strategies, tools, and plan. You can track and control farms' financial activities. So managing your finance is not just about saying it. It's not just about declaring it. It's not just about proclaiming it that, okay, today I want to manage finance. No, it is way beyond that. It is way beyond just saying, I want to do this thing. It goes way beyond saying, I want to do it, and it goes to doing it actually. There are some certain steps we have been procrastinating on, right? You say, I'm going to do this later, I'm going to do this later. And those are some of the reasons why our financials are still the way it is. They are still the way it has been, right? Now, we'll be learning some major ways on how to manage our finances today. Let's go to cost optimization strategy. What is cost optimization strategy? It focuses on minimizing expenses, just like I said earlier, minimizing expenses while maintaining or enhancing productivity and quality. That is, you want to achieve something, right? But you are achieving it with a minimized cost, and you're still getting the kind of quality you need to get, right? So I mentioned BSF the other time, black soldier flies. Black soldier flies is a very good protein for your birds. Now, one of the ways you can optimize your cost is, say you learn how to make BSF, the black soldier fly. You learn how to make BSF. You see that you start making this for yourself, right? You start making it for yourself. You don't have to pay money to do it again. That way, you have minimized the expense you spend on protein. I believe you got that. You have minimized the expenses you spend on that aspect. So these are various ways where you can minimize your costs. You want to sell. learn how to sell. Now, for everyone that is in this class, for everyone that took the last class and we still take more class, you already have this skill now. You already know, okay, these are the things I need to do in digital agriculture. You don't have to, if you're a farm owner here, you don't have to pay someone to come and do this thing for your farm. That way, you have cut the cost of, you have cut an expenses in that aspect, right? You can easily probably employ someone and teach the person, and your farm is doing very well. That is a strategy on optimizing your costs. Now, now, what are the smart ways to manage finances and save your costs? So these are what we'll be looking at today. How can you manage your finances? How can you save your costs? Because believe me, even if you have a company that says, okay, I want to finance you, I want to give you a loan, I want to give you grants, I want to give you this. If you don't know how to manage those costs, if you don't know how to manage your finances, the money would, you would not know how the money would just go. And then you have to go back running again, looking for finances again, because the economy as it is now is not smiling on everyone. So you have to evolve even as the world is evolving. So first thing first we'll look at is a budget. Always create a budget. Please, I believe we're all taking note of, everything we are learning. Please take note, it's very important. Now, create a budget, have a detailed budget, right? Have a detailed budget of what you want to spend on. Now, you can have a budget for, if you look at a country now, a country has a budget of what they want to spend money on in a year. So for your farm, you should have a budget of, say, can be monthly or quarterly or even annually, right? But create a budget that outlines the projected income. How much do you intend to earn in a year? How much do you intend to spend in a year? That way you can be able to do an analytics and get if you have overspent or not, right? So if you say you want to spend in a year, you want to spend 100,000 on expenses, and you finally got to spend 90,000, you know that, okay, you have saved 10,000. But if you say you want to spend 100,000 in a year on expenses, and you got to spend, and at the end of the year, you realize you spent like 150,000, you already know, nobody needs to tell you that you have overspent, right? But when you have a budget, you can spend within your budget, you spend within what you have written down. Now, if the need arises now for you to now spend way beyond your budget, you will know that, okay, this is what I want to do, but I don't have a choice but to do this. So first thing first is create a detailed budget that outlines the projected income and expenses for the next year. So you already know what I want to buy next year, what I am not buying, right? Now, secondly is consider all costs, including feed, labor, veterinary service, utility, equipment maintenance, and overhead expenses. So when you are creating your budget, right? When you are creating your budget, consider all of this in your budget. Don't say, I am going to do it offhand. Put everything down. See, it is very, very important. It is very, very essential to have everything we want to do written down. You know you are going to pay your staff at the end of each month. You are going to pay labor. You most likely need the service of a vet doctor. You buy equipment. Write down your expenses. Create a sheet for expenses, for feed, for labor, for different expenses. Create a sheet for it, right? So that you'll be able to you will not even rack your brain too much when you are now calculating how you spent it, because you know what you wanted to spend on. So we are still on creating a budget. And again, the third one on creating budget is regularly review and update the budget based on actual performance and changing market conditions. So now everybody knows that Maize now is giving issues. for the production of feeds, right? Maize now are quite expensive. Now, as the market is changing, impute it in your budget so that when you are now giving like like an end of the year remark or like an end of the year report, it will be written down. You will not start saying, when did this happen? When did this happen, right? You already have everything written down. So review your budget regularly, just the same way we set goals at the beginning of the month, at the beginning of the year. Have your budget, review it often, review it more often, update it more often. The price of something is increasing. You already wrote 5,000 for maize and now maize is 7,000. Update your budget, right? So that you would have a clear report at the end of the year or at the end of the day. Now, we are that is that on budget. Please, I believe we are all taking notes. Next, we'll go to conduct a thorough cost analysis to identify the major cost drivers in your poultry farm. So always conduct an analysis, right? Always, always, always. You get what I said? Always conduct an analysis. Yeah, please, is everyone with me, please? Always conduct an analysis, a cost analysis. No, just the same way a woman would want to go to the market to buy something, right? She already knows the prices of what you want to buy. Note, there are sometimes we go for window shopping. Are we together, please? There's sometimes you go for window shopping and we already know the amount of everything. So when you want to now go and buy, you already know that, okay, this one is so amount, this one is this amount. So you go to the market with the amount because you already know the price. Now, always conduct analysis, right, to identify the major cost drivers in your poultry farm. Always do that. The next is identify areas where costs can be reduced or optimized without compromising the health and productivity of the flock. Just like I explained earlier. So for this BSF I'm talking about, there's a video on BSF for everyone that would be interested. I will drop the link on the Telegram channel after the class. You can check it and learn one or two things, right? You can learn one or two things. So that way you have the cost you spend on protein for your farm has been reduced. If you spend 100,000 on that, it has been reduced because you already have an alternative on how to do it, and you are not even still compromising the health of the chicken, right? They are still getting the kind of quality they would get, and maybe even more. But it has reduced the cost on your own pocket, and that way you are managing your finance, you are saving costs, and you are saving yourself from economic crisis, because this economy is not smiling. Just know that and know peace, right? Now, we move to the next one. Implement precise feeding. Implement precise feeding practices to minimize food wastage and achieve better feed conversion ratio. So you are a farm manager, you are a farm owner, you are a supervisor, you are an entrepreneur looking to go into farming or anytime soon. Now, always you should have like an accurate weight or accurate way of what the chicken eats, right? So if the chicken in your pen or the chicken in your farm eats 1 bag of feed at once, or you already know that, okay, it is 1 bag they eat, right? Not still compromising what they eat, not reducing what they eat, but be very, very precise so that you instead of giving them, at times we tend to probably overfeed the birds, and at the end of the day we now get wastage. The food will waste, it will pour, the feed will pour, they will pour on the floor, and that's gone. And at this point, wastage should not be encouraged, right? Overfeeding them might, I understand that sometimes we tend to overfeed the birds because we probably want to sell them early. I understand that you're still making money, but at the same time, always implement precise feeding. That is the actual feed they are going to eat. Always implement that, right? and still keeping in mind that you don't want to compromise the health and productivity of the chicken. So you know that, okay, it is 1 bag they can finish at once, go for that 1 bag. You know it is 2 bags they can finish, go for that 2 bag, but don't do 2.5 because, right? Don't always be precise. Don't be stingy, but at the same time, be so meticulous about how you manage your finances. Now, use quality feed that meets the nutritional requirements of the birds to optimize growth and production. So, you know, when most times we tend to want to be so strict with our finances, right? Now, I'm not saying this particular course we are doing today is not to be stingy, but it is to be prudent, right? It is to spend our money on what we should spend money on, right? So use quality feed. Don't buy a substandard feed for your bird. Now, if you feed your birds with quality feeds, you might necessarily not even need to overfeed them before the feed start working in their body, right? But if you use a substandard feed, you might have to feed and waste money on that feed before it will even show that they are eating. But quality, when you use quality feed, you don't even need to do too much. You don't need to buy too much before it will eat what is meant to eat in their body. So use quality feeds that meet the nutritional requirement of the bird to optimize growth and production. When you use quality feed, you don't have to buy too much. You would eat your target on time, and you can start making your money when you sell them. And you can even just recycle again, sell them, get more birds, and you're still making your money, you're still managing yourself, you're still saving costs, right? And you don't have to now you don't have to start complaining that our economy is not smiling on us, because you already know how to manage the little resources that you have. And the next is implement strict biosecurity measures to prevent disease outbreak and minimize the need for expensive treatment. So for these biosecurity measures, right, is one of the topics we'll be treating next week. What are biosecurity measures, and what is the impact, right? But I'll just give a brief explanation now. When say implement strict biosecurity measures, so biosecurity measures are like the things we do, right, to prevent disease. Now, I've been to a farm where before you can enter the pen, before you can enter where the birds are, you have to wash your leg with insecticide or something like that. You have to wash your leg, you have to wash your hand, you have to wear like an apron, you have to several things you have to do. Now, that way, before a disease could touch the birds, right, it's not going to be easy for those birds to get disease because of the measures that have been taken. So those are biosecurity measures, the things you do to prevent diseases, right? You don't just you cannot just get to your farm early in the morning, you're coming from your house and you just go to your farm and you start feeding the birds. No, you have to sanitize yourself, sanitize your hands, sanitize your leg. You have to clean up, you have to clean up the bird's house regularly, so that you will not even have to spend so much money treating them. You don't have to spend so much money calling veterinary to come and check them for you. When you have taken charge of your biosecurity, you have taken charge of preventing diseases, you will not spend too much, right, on expensive treatment. Then all you need to treat them on, or all you need to do for them, is giving them the required injections or required drugs that they need to grow, not for diseases. So you want to manage your finance, you want to save your cost, you have to implement very, very strict biosecurity measures. Let everybody that come into your farm, let everybody that works in your farm know that before you can enter this place, in fact, not even enter where the bird is, before you can enter some certain areas in this farm, you need to do this and this to prevent yourself. You need to sanitize yourself, you need to do the major things so that you would not spread disease to these birds. Now, also monitor the bird's health regularly and promptly address any sign of illness to prevent further spread. Sorry. Yeah, all right. So monitor the bed health regularly and promptly address any sign of illness to prevent further spread. So you want to feed the bed and you notice that maybe one of them, the head is swollen or the leg is not moving well or something, you just notice something. Immediately you notice it, try to first and foremost separate that particular bed from the others before that disease spreads, because the more the disease spread, the more you have to spend more money, right? Please, I don't know, are we together? Are you still with me? Are we still together? Please, I don't want to lose anyone. Please let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that feedback. So monitor your bed health regularly, right? I believe every poultry farmer here, I believe the first thing you do when you get to the farm is to check which one is shaking, which one is not growing well. You know, once you notice that the bed is one of the beds is not doing well, separate them first from others to prevent spending more money, right? And always monitor, just always check how are they growing well? Is this one that is laying egg? How are they laying? Just always monitor so that you will not have to use all your money now to not spend all your money on taking care of birds. But once you implement a very strict biosecurity measure, yeah, you can the rate at which disease will befall the birds are very minimum. They are very, very, very minimum. So next is invest in energy efficient equipment and lighting system to reduce energy consumption and cost. So there are several ways we get energy in the farm, right? I've been to farms where they were so creative about how they get lightning in their farm. You know, several things you can do to get energy, to get lightning in your farm, to get lightning to your beds that does not really require so much to do. It does not really require so much for you to do to even get some things done, right? Now, optimize ventilation and climate control to ensure a comfortable environment for the bed without using excessive energy. So I've seen some farm where the birds are like in a house where they can play on the ground, they can play, and there's so much ventilation. And they have this thing that they can use to cover, probably it is raining or it's cold. That way the birds are they are comfortable, they are walking around, they are doing very well, right? That is one way. Another way, there are some that they are in a cage. I don't know what they call the cage now. But at the same time, they are in a very ventilated area. So you don't even need to spend much on lights. You don't need to spend so much on giving the birds the comfortability that they need. So these are some of the things that we need to put into use if in case you are you just want to start your poultry farm, or probably you are even into the business, right? These are the things we need to put in place. Now, streamline your farm operations to make the most of labor resources and reduce unnecessary overtime or idle time. So there are some farmers that probably have like 1,000 beds and they have several workers, and those workers are getting paid. Now, is it good to have workers? Yes, it is good. It is good to division of labor. Sorry? Okay, division of labor is good, is key, very, very key. But then let every worker knows what they are doing and streamline the farm operation. So if you have one worker for feeding the birds and giving them water, one staff for selling eggs and doing this, reduce unnecessary overtime. So you don't have to if it's just one worker that you can get at the time, get it and make that worker comfortable, right? Make the person comfortable. You both can do the work if that is what you can afford at that time, right? If you make your staff very comfortable, the staff will work. The staff will do what they are meant to do. because they know they are getting results, which is their pay. But if you get like several staffs and you cannot even make them comfortable, all of them together would not even do what you want them to do because they are not comfortable with the job. So at the slightest opportunity they see, they leave. Then you now be at the you now be back to square one looking again. But if it is 2 staff, you can please let me know if you can hear me. I don't know. Can you hear me, please?
We can hear you.
can hear you.
Continue.
All right. Thank you.
We can hear you.
All right. I was beginning to feel like.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, like I said, if it is 2 staff, you know you can make comfortable working with you. You make them enjoy working with you. Take those 2 staff, make them comfortable, and they will do your job. Now, also invest in staff training to improve skills and efficiency. So invest, when you don't have to pay for digital farming, digital farm management, accessing this, accessing that, you don't have to pay it when you can easily just train a staff to do it. And then, okay, like I said, BSF, right? You can easily just train your staff. Okay, if you buy a protein feed for, say you buy protein feed, say 50,000 monthly for protein feed only, right? And you train your staff or you train yourself how to make protein yourself, how to make protein feed yourself. You say you train the person for a one-time fee of 20,000. So 20,000, a one-time fee. I've made you cut cost on 50,000, 50,000, 50,000, 50,000 for as many months as the bird lives, right? So invest in training yourself, invest in training your staff. Let them be skilled so that they can do the work effortlessly. I think that's the word, so that they can do the work effortlessly and stress-free. They can be comfortable. And that way you can easily still save costs, because when things are working smoothly, you don't have to overspend on what you are not meant to spend on. Now, also maintain proper inventory management to avoid overstocking or stock out of essential supply. So when you manage your inventory well, when you manage your feed, you don't have to overbuy feeds or underbuy feeds or things that you already have. If you have a proper way of managing your stuffs, if you have a proper way of taking your inventory, if you have a proper way of recording your activities, right? You don't have to you already have 10 bags of feeds. You don't have to just predict and say, this thing won't finish, I need to buy this one again, I need to buy that one again. When you already have it, you don't have to overstock. Now, I feel like we might be thinking that I need to buy this thing down in case the price increase. What if you don't need it? Then what happens? Right? So take proper inventory so that you can manage overstocking. I'll leave that on that. Also, take advantage of bulk purchasing or negotiate better deals with supplier to reduce cost. So this can work when we have a trusted supplier. When we buy from this person, buy from that person, buy from this person, buy from that person, they barely know us. But if you have one trusted supplier, you can say, okay, Oga, you have been coming frequently to buy from me. I'll give you discount on this. And you see those little discounts, when you calculate them together, is a meaningful amount, right? All those little discounts that you get from your supplier, it gathers to be a meaningful amount. So try to have a relationship with just one supplier. And if one is not possible, let it be like 2 or 3 suppliers that sees you as their constant customer. Right? No, we were talking to a farmer today and he was saying, okay, he buys from this person, he buys from that person, he buys from like 5 people. And we're like, okay, we want to finance your farm. Which supplier are we going to pay to? Now that there's a confusion there, right? So try and have a particular supplier that supplies you with day-old chicks, that supplies you with point of lay, that supplies you with feeds, drugs, and the likes. So that you can take advantage of negotiation. You can take advantage of discounts. You can take advantage of percentage. Right. Also, develop a long-term strategy and goal for the farm to guide your financial decision and investment. So you can decide that, okay, probably at the beginning of the year, you can, maybe at the start of your farm, or even now, you can decide to say, okay, in the next 2 years, I want to have, you probably have presently, maybe you have 1,000 birds. You can say in the next 2 years, I want to have rear up to 50,000 birds. Now, everything you do, every investment you make, every decision you make will be towards getting that 50,000 birds. So you have 1,000 birds today, you're looking at, okay, I need to do this and this to make 10,000 in the next 3 months or 4 months. When you get to 10,000, you have to tell yourself, make decisions, make investment, like I need to do this and this to get to 30,000. And before you know it, with right decision making and great strategies, you would be able to hit your goal because you have even set it. It is a goal you set that you hit. You don't hit a goal you don't set. So develop long-term strategies, develop long-term goals, develop what you want to achieve with your farm in the next couple of years. Develop that, okay, in the next few years, I used to live in Ibadan, right? And there's this farm. The farm has over 500,000 birds, that particular farm. And you know, as a farmer, you can say, okay, I'm starting with 10,000 birds today, but in the next 5 years, I want to hit 100,000. In the next, set a goal. When you set a goal, you'll be able to make informed decision. You'll be able to make certain investment towards that, right? Yeah. Also, consider factors like market trends, technology advancements, and environmental changes when making these long-term goals. Now, let your goals be realistic, right? Let the goals be realistic. Consider the market trend. Consider what will happen when it can happen, right? When you are making this decision. I believe these are things that when they are put in place, when these things are put in place, it can easily tell how. Okay, thank you very much for muting that mic. Thank you very much. These are things that when we do, it can easily tell on how our farm operates. It can easily tell on how our finances is being in use. It can easily tell on how our costs are being minimized. Now, another smart way to manage your finance and save your costs is explore various markets and distribution channels to diversify revenue sources and reduce dependence on a single buyer. So maybe you are a layer farmer, right? You sell eggs, and the only person you sell to is maybe the supermarket on your street. I'm just saying. Or maybe you have just one supplier. You have one supplier that comes to your farm to carry your egg and supply. Now, think of other ways that you can sell your eggs to make more money. You can think of selling to supermarkets, right? So after your supplier has come to carry the egg, think of selling to supermarkets, write proposals to some supermarkets and tell them, okay, we sell this and this is your percentage, this is mine. Sell to them. You can think of bakeries, sell to bakeries. You can think of all these people that sell noodles, right? Maybe they have an association. Get them. Talk them into having a business with you. Let them carry your egg and sell. This way, you are even making more money. Your birds are producing. You are selling. There is no egg glut in your farm. So, think of ways to get more revenue. You are selling birds. You are not probably you're a broiler farmer. You are selling the birds. Instead of waiting for when festival will happen, maybe Christmas or Easter, or instead of waiting for when another festival will happen where you can have massive sales, why not talk to frozen foods, write proposals to them, give them juicy offers, talk to frozen food, let them offtake your birds and sell, talk to eateries, right? Just think of different ways on which your revenue, different sources where you can generate revenue aside selling to just one single person, right? Just one single person might not help getting more money. Also, seek premium markets that may offer better prices for high quality poultry products. So seek premium markets, they are great. Seek when you have a quality product, you get quality markets. But when you do quantity, all you get is quantity. So seek premium market that may offer better prices. So you want to sell to high market, you want to sell to the upper class because they have the money that you need. And even if it is the middle class, they also have that money that you need, right? So we need to, these are like certain things we need to do to cut costs in our farm, to even earn more, to generate more in our farm, because these are things I feel we need, right? Lastly, maintain detailed and accurate financial record to track income, expenses, and profitability. So like I said in yesterday's class and the other class we had on the live session, now, beyond going digital, beyond, always have a record. That is very key. That is very, very essential. Very, very, always have a record. Always have a record. I am sort of bringing it out now. Always have a record. When you have a record, you'll be able to weigh yourself. You'll be able to put yourself on a scale and check the balance. Are you making profit? When you check your record in the first quarter, I say that, okay, I am not making profit, I am making loss. You'll be able to buckle up, right? You can buckle up and do better. You can actually do better. But if you don't have a record, you don't even know you're spending your money. You don't even know how money is coming in. You just know that you need money, you're seeing the money, you want to, somebody come to your farm to buy and you sell and you just spend the money. You don't have a record of how this money is coming, how this money is going out. You would not, your finances would just be there. And at the end of the day, say, okay, there's no money, the economy is not smiling. You probably go and get a loan or get this, and you still squander the money. But when you have records, right, you can have monthly reports or quarterly reports or annually report and say, okay, in the last quarter, this is what we spend money on, and we are not meant to spend money on it, right? So you cut cost on, okay, we should not spend on this, we should do this better. You'll be able to even think of ideas on how to do the things differently. Yeah. Also, regularly analyze financial data to identify areas where cost optimization can be implemented. So I think I explained this in the previous point. Regularly analyze financial data. So you are spending too much on lightning. You can say, okay, you know what, let's do charcoal, let's do this. You can think. You see, when you have when you have a record, when you have a goal you are setting for yourself, right? You've set a goal for yourself and you have and you're seeing a record, right? You'll be able to think of ideas to do things better. You'll be able to say, okay, how can I be better at this? How can I spend less and still get what I want? Right? So these are like major ways on how to manage our finances, how to save costs. Basically, next week, I don't know which day next week, we'll be talking on accessing capital. But we want to, before we tell you, okay, this is how you can access capital, right? We are trying to let everyone know that if you want to access the capital, you need to know how to save up, how to manage your finance before we now say, okay, yeah, now that you have now to access your how to manage, now you can now access capital, right? So I think these are like major things we need to do in order to have a profitable farm. Yeah, I think that's the word. In order to have a very profitable farm. Yeah. So I think at this point I will be taking questions now. Questions, please. Questions on financial management and cost optimization. questions on digital tools and technology, questions generally on poultry farming and the likes. This is the time to take questions, please. Is everybody with me? Can you hear me? I feel like...
Yes, I can hear you.
I hear you.
All right. I believe today's class, what's it?
Yes, it has been very exciting.
Right, thank you. Thank you.
Hello, ma. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Emmanuel.
My name is Emmanuel. I just want to ask this question. You brought it up. You said about cost optimization,
Yeah.
and there's this BS what do you call it? BFC.
BSF, Black Soldier
BSF.
Flies.
Sorry,
Black
sorry.
soldier fly.
Black soldier flies.
Yes.
I have not heard at this. I mean, this is very enlightening. This is the first time I've heard of black soldier flies. How does one get it? How does one rear it? How does one bring it up to? And then if you start to rear it, how do you know it's of good quality that you? I mean, how do you measure the quality to give to the birds? I mean, how do you know the quality of what you are doing before you give to the birds?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that question. So, making black soldier fly, you can actually make it, right? Just the same way you are learning how to go digital in your farming, you can also learn how to make BSF, right? And once you learn, you are definitely going to be making a quality one. Now, black soldier flies is like let me search online and see if I'll definitely see something related to that and show you. Just give me a minute while I search. Of course, I would after this call, after this meeting today, I will drop a link on how you can learn BSF, right? That'll be like a bonus for this class.
Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah. Just give me a minute while I search for that. But everybody get that.
We wait. It is a very crucial issue. I mean, in poultry feeding, like those of us who are just at it.
Yes.
You need to know much about cost optimization.
Yes, actually, see, cost optimization is actually very key, because I think at this point, we need to look at what other thing can we use to do for feeds aside maize. These are like things we need to get, because okay, maize is now looking like is not accessible anymore, right? You know, when you want to try and optimize cost for your farm, you start to think of ideas, you start to think of other things that can be put in place. Okay, I've seen something on BSF. I just share my screen now so that everyone can see it. All right. Please let me know when you see my screen.
I can see it.
All right.
So you see your screen?
This is what they call BSF. It's like maggots. You are like doing this to feed the birds. Now, this is like an essential protein, right? This is like an essential protein for your birds. So most times you don't need to buy protein feeds anymore, because they already have this, and you make them, right? You make it, and it's even very, very good. It is even very good for your farm, right? It is good for the birds, for their growth, for how they can live. You can add it to your starter feed. You can add, see, it is like a way of very, very good way of cutting costs, right? So I think I would send you the link to watch a video on how you can do it. And I believe it is going to be very, very helpful. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate.
You are welcome. All right, so we have a question in the chat box. Says, can data input on Clever app be in any way manipulated? Okay. Sorry, can we in any way have a supplement feed ingredient such as maize? Okay, so I'll answer the second one first. Can we in any way have a supplementary feed ingredient such as maize? Okay, so me, I am not a feed producer. I don't know how to produce feed, but I just know how to cut costs. Now, you can think of ideas, right? You can think of other ways, just like this BSF, you can use it to supplement your feed. You can add it to your starter feed, add it to your grower feed, right? To boost their growth and to reduce money. So I believe that there are other supplementary feeds, right? But these are things that we need to sit down and think outside the box, right? Now, the second one says, can data input on Clever be in any way manipulated? Now, it is what, I explained yesterday in yesterday's class, it is what you give Clever, right? That it would record for you. The app is not in your farm. The app is being operated by you or your farm manager. So, yes, it can be manipulated. Should you manipulate it? No, you should not. Right? If your sales is, if what you sold was 100,000 and you put 150,000 on Clever, it is that 150,000 that will record for you. And if your expenses is 10,000 and you put 2,000, it is that 2,000 it would record for you. So what I'm just saying is, it is what you record, that it is what you impute that will be recorded. That's that on that. So I think I've answered these two questions from Vivo 2015. I think I've answered that. I don't know if any other person has any question. Questions, please. Can we use cassava peel to replace maize? Mr. Akombi Jimo, like I said, I don't know how to do feeds, but the little I know, I have taught, right? But you can make research, right? You can make research. What are the other things you can use to replace maize? Because looking at it now, this is a time where brilliant ideas would work, because every farmer is ready to take brilliant ideas that they can use to replace maize. So you can research, right? I think today's assignment, actually, I think I've gotten what I'll use for today's assignment. So today's assignment is to make a research on another thing that can be used to replace maize in feed production. That way, your ideas can sell, right? You can work on the ideas and boom, it will sell everywhere, right? So, Mr. Jimo, you are going to make the research on that. And that is going to be today's assignment. Make a research on what can be used. I'm already typing the assignment on the search box, on the chat box. Make a research on what other thing that can be used to replace maize. Yeah. So that is going to be our assignment for today. So we have two assignments this week. The Clever app, registering on the Clever app, and which some people have already been doing that. I've been seeing that already. And also this, the deadline for submission for these two assignments is on Sunday evening. And on Monday, we are going to be reviewing it. So which means tomorrow, Saturday, we won't be having a class. But if you have anything, suggestion, question, you can drop it on the channel, on the Telegram channel, right? Yeah. So please, let's work on this assignment. Never can tell. Your idea can be perfect and we'll expand it. And also these assignments, like I said in the first class, these assignments are one of the things they are like the criteria to get certified in this course. Believe me, it is not everybody that is in this training that will be certified, right? But we will definitely issue certificates to those that I see every time in class. I see a lot of people every time in class, and those that does their assignments. Those are the criteria to be certified in this course. Are we together, please? Is everybody with me?
Yes, we are together.
Are we fighting
Yeah, we are
already?
together.
Yes.
Not yet.
We are together.
Okay. Awesome. So I believe we all got the assignments, right?
Yes.
We all got the assignment, Abby. Yes.
Yes.
I take it as yes. Are we going to do it or we will not do it?
Of
We
course,
will try
are
our
going to
best.
do it.
We'll do it.
I like that try.
We'll try to make the research.
Yes. You should know that making this research might necessarily be just for you, because when you make the research, you already have an idea and you don't have to start killing yourself getting missed when you've already thought of other things to do. And before you know it, because several people, a lot of people are in this crisis together, they will take your idea and welcome it. And yes, you are growing. Everybody will know about you. So I think I want us to see this beyond just here. Look at the bigger picture, right? Yeah. So are there more questions?
Like I want to ask the assignment.
Okay.
Are we typing it? Like, are we typing it in Word format, or we just type it and drop it on the Telegram group?
Please make it in a Word
What's the format to doing the assignment?
in a Word document, please.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, ma.
Thank you. Please do it in a Word document. Yeah, so are there any more questions? If there are no more questions, I would not want to keep us just seated in the class. I believe we have other things to do. So if there'll be no more questions, please, if you have more questions, you can ask on the Telegram channel. I will always answer you. If there are no more questions, I think we'll have to call it a day today. It has been wonderful talking to everyone. I'm always happy when it is time to do this class. I feel just this joy in me. I don't know why. I think it's because I have amazing people that are here, that you choose to listen. And thank you very much. Thank you for joining this class. Thank you for listening to me. What do I know? But thank you very much for listening to me. I so much appreciate you. And I believe that at least we are learning. I believe we are learning. Am I wrong?
No, you are not wrong.
You are right.
I believe we
You
are.
are very,
We are
very
all
right.
learning.
Thank
We
you.
are
And I
all
would
learning.
also,
Like today's.
I would also want to,
I can hear you, please.
I would also want to thank you for allowing us to tap from your wealth of knowledge. At least since inception to this present moment, we've added to our feather, a feather to our cap. So if we are
It's breaking.
getting this before the completion of oh,
Thank you very
the
much.
network is bad.
Network is very bad.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Can you, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
It's, the network is bad. It's breaking.
Network is very, very bad. It's actually breaking.
Oh, okay. When are we going to have the record?
This class
When
will
are
be,
we going
this particular
to
class, the recording will be sent tomorrow.
this
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, so I'm
We
so
can
sorry.
hear
Network is very, very bad. So I was saying that the video, the recording, today's recording will be sent tomorrow, right? The recording will be sent tomorrow. But tonight I'll be sending the link for the BSF on how to make BSF. I'm sending that today.
Okay, ma.
Thank
Yeah.
you, man.
All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. So I believe we can call it a day today. We've all done well. Right.
Thank you
Thank you
for your
very
time.
much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
And enjoy your weekend.
And
you
you too, ma.
And please do
And
your
you
assignment.
too.
Ma.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye-bye.